Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the fourth group that consists of Nur Khalis Majid, Sarah Arisa Firdausia, Muhammad Ardi Abdurrahman, Wulandari, and Safira Lintang Kusuma. We will present about narratology. Okay, continue the discussion of the previous group. So this time I will explain the second step, that is determines the rule for the genre of romance story. Rule is something that we are not fully aware of, but we simply follow it. For example, when we chat with friends with a language that we have used since childhood, we do realize that we are actually obeying the grammar of language we use. Likewise, when we make a story, basically we also obey the story system or story rules just like that, without realizing it anymore. We only realized the principle of storytelling when we had to create a story in a genre we were never familiar with. Based on structural theory, story rules can be analyzed at two levels. The first is rules of event arrangement in general, and the second level is rules of event arrangement that apply in genre. Okay, we are going to the first level, rules of event arrangement in general. Story scholars who use structural theory refer to this level as story sequence analysis. The sequence referred to here is the rule for the sequence of events in the story. In the previous section, we learned to analyze the main events from the Vitasariso story. So why are the events ordered so in the short story? This is indeed the chronological order. Yes, but what rules underlie the formation of such a chronological order? According to Tundorov, a story generally starts with an event that shows static state or balanced condition. Everything is running normally, and it has been that way for a long time. If nothing changes to the static state or condition, then the story doesn't happen. So, it takes an event that shows a change in this static state in order for the story to move. With this change, the static or balanced situation changes to being not static or unbalanced again. The normal state turns into a messy. The story may end at this golden point because the rule of change over circumstances has basically been fulfilled. However, usually this kind of story doesn't make the reader or audience calm or relieved. Therefore, the imbalance must be changed again to get to a new balanced state. That is Theory of Sequence by Todorov.
My name is Wulandari, and in this slide I will explain about the example of analyzing sequence rules on the short story Pertemuan by Dwi Tasari. The first event is Cleo break up with her boyfriend, and this beginning of event is to show the reader what kind of situation is going on before Cleo's story is starting, and it's called the beginning static condition because in this event the condition is still balanced, and also it's not important on how Cleo broke up with her boyfriend because that is not the main point of this story. Then we have to pay attention about what is gonna happen on the next event, or what does Cleo take as a main character to change her love life after breakup. And in this story, the author chose events on how Cleo trying to forget her ex. We can find it on she went to Yogyakarta to forget her ex, and it could be analyzed as the changed event because it is changing the beginning static condition. And the change event leads us to the next event that called chaos event, or event that is not in a static condition. And in this part, Cleo met Raditya that looks like her ex-boyfriend on her way to Yogyakarta, and then the author made her falling in love with Raditya. Actually, this event is not supposed to happen because it makes Cleo's love ambiguous, and does she falling in love with Raditya, or she still loves her ex that she cannot forget, or does Cleo's love for Raditya is real, or she just make it up to forget her ex? And this kind of ambiguous situation is that Todorov refers to as a chaos. Actually, we can end the story right here because we could make a story with a cliffhanger ending, but according to Todorov, if you want to make a complete sequence, you have to show the next event so that the chaos or not static event could be changed. Because of that, the event of Cleo and Raditya split up uncomfortably because it turns out that Raditya already has a girlfriend refers to the change event, that is to change the chaos event, and it makes Cleo back to her static condition as someone who just break up. But then the story ends with the next event, that is Cleo and Raditya are having a new way of relationship, and it refers as the new static condition. Todorov said that his sequence rules can be applied generally on some variety of genre, and if we realize the existing of these sequence rules, we can understand on why the author chose this or that events and how events are arranged. We can also know how far a story is obeying these sequence rules.
Next is defines an event plot is a genre. A second level is rules of event arrangement that apply in the genre. How to determine an outline of event that applies to a particular genre, like romance. There are three steps. First is collect and choose some of the romance stories. In this step, it cannot be determined with certainty how much text we should collect, but it depends on the extent to which we ourselves are able to look at the text. Second is analyze the event of each romance story. In the process, it is also necessary to consider the general sequencing code set forth by Todorov, that the main events are not arranged in an arbitrary manner but are in an orderly arrangement according to the general code. Last is comparing the result of analysis. Find the basic equation hidden behind the main event different from each of the story we analyze. Okay. Next slide is practice of defining the rules of three short story from the three story pertemuan, kopi, and teman terbaik. Step 1. A search for a common determinator of the three story. The three stories were taken from the two sets that had a common similarity. The main character loved in silence. The common denominator that's paying title Mencintai dalam Diam jilid 1 and jilid 2. The explanation of the back cover of jilid 1 is setiap orang punya cara tersendiri untuk mencintai, memilih untuk diam, memperhatikan dari jauh, atau mendoakan diam-diam. Setiap orang punya caranya tersendiri untuk jatuh cinta tanpa membaginya dengan orang yang dia cinta. The common determinator would be the starting point for determining that can make it easy to find simple rules. Step 2. Write the result of the analysis of the three stories. In this step, we can improve the set of events from first story to the another story. How it was used to look at the similarity to the main story. For example, one of the main sentence in the pertemuan story. Dalam perjalanan ke Yogyakarta, Cleo bertemu dengan Raditya yang mirip dengan mantan pacarnya. After that, we can improve The set of event into dalam perjalanan ke Yogyakarta, Cleo berkenalan dan menjadi dekat dengan Raditya yang mirip dengan mantan pacarnya. We can change the word berkenalan and kedekatan because they have a same meaning or aspect. An example of analysis from the tree story. In the beginning condition of pertemuan story is Cleo putus cinta. It seemed like a beginning condition from teman terbaik story, Davin patah hati. And the beginning condition of copy story, Faika, manajer sekaligus pemilik sebuah kafe, diam-diam jatuh cinta pada Davin, pelanggan yang tidak dikenalnya. It seemed like a second condition of copy story, Ray, seorang barista di sebuah kafe, diam-diam jatuh cinta pada Hera, pelanggan yang tidak dikenalnya. That is a sample, or you can look more than of common determinator from this table. Thank you.
Okay, we come to the step 3, that is about compare all the stories to build sequence rule of genre. To build sequence rule of genre, we have to find some similarity from some stories. Yeah, we compare one story to another story. Yeah. From the step 1, we already know that the general similarity of these 3 stories, that is pertemuan, teman terbaik, and kopi, is about someone that falls in love secretly. Or in Indonesia, or in a short, we call it asmara terpendam. How this or asmara terpendam can be subgenre in romance, and how to make a rule of genre from this. Okay, here we already know that there are some similarity of these 3 stories. The first is falling in love with strangers. Yeah, you can find this point in these 3 stories. Yeah, even though there are some difference because the author have a different manner to tell about this point. In the short story of Teman Terbaik and Kopi, you can find this point at the beginning of the story. But in the short story of Pertemuan, you can find this almost in the middle of the story. Yeah, this story characteristic or falling in love with a stranger is usually called by falling in love at first sight. And the second is about introductions and approach. Yeah, here the main character start to introduce and get close to the beloved or strangers. And when he or she already get close to the beloved or strangers, they know that she or he knows that the strangers or the beloved is already in love with other people. So from this, the ambiguities start appearing because she or he afraid that his love or her love is unrequited. Okay, and the third is hide the feeling of love. Yeah, at the end of this story, at the end of these 3 stories, tell about that the main characters finally hide the feeling of love. Yeah, because the reason is because they afraid that his love is unrequited. In the story of Kopi, maybe it doesn't explain clearly. Yeah, but in the story of Pertemuan and Teman Terbaik, it explains clearly that the stranger or the beloved is already in love with other people. By the analysis above, now we can form rule for subgenre of asmara terpendam. Number 1, figure A is in love with figure B who is strangers. Figure A and figure B start recognize and get close. Number 3, figure A feels ambiguous intimacy. Number 4, figure B admit that he or she is in love with another one. And number 5, figure A hide the love's feeling to figure B again. We have already discussed about sequence rule of asmara terpendam. So what we have to do. So here you can or we can examine this rule by applying to another short story. Yeah, you can apply this rule to another short story so that we can know how many short story can be included into this sequence, into this rule of category. Yeah, the sequence rule of Asmara Terpendam is also appropriate to Todorov sequence rule. Yeah, it is the same. It has 5 main events. Even though a sequential can have more than 5 main events, like in right-ways sequential, which is it has 13 main events. Yeah, and to embody sequential of Asmara Terpendam, author creativity is really crucial here. The authors have to have aesthetic technique when they try to express their idea into a story. Yeah, so that the story will have its uniqueness. Like in the short story of Pertemuan, here explain clearly the reason why the main character fall in love with the strangers. Yeah. It's because the stranger has the similarity to her ex-girlfriend. But in the Teman Terbaik and Kopi's short story, it doesn't explain clearly the reason why the main character fall in love with the strangers. And okay, thus in the romance genre, ambiguity become the most important point. Yeah. Here, usually the author utilize the ambiguity during the story to create new ways or new style in writing a story. Like love is hidden or love is expressed or love is misinterpreted. And in this 3 story above is about love is hidden. Okay, and the reason why the audience or the readers maintains enjoying romance genre is because of the blend of roles and the style innovations.
The title of the story is Pertemuan. She is going to Yogyakarta is for forgetting her boyfriend or now she named by ex-boyfriend. She go to Yogyakarta is for to forget his memorize his moment with her her ex-boyfriend, her moment to forget her moment with her ex-boyfriend. That's Cleo's answer to her father question. Okay, this is the fourth paragraph. This is in charge paragraph also because Cleo sit in a bus is beside somebody that she met in before she go into abyss. She is sitting beside him, and she is so nervous when she near with somebody that she enters, or yeah, I say she is laughing anymore to someone that his face almost same with her ex-boyfriend. This dialogue in this paragraph give us an information that Cleo will fall in love anymore with somebody that she met in abyss. Okay, this is a sixth paragraph that we will analyze. The dialogue in this paragraph tell us about the fondness moment between Cleo in Radit, and yeah, I think they are like what a partner, a partner that was knowing between these two person. So they are making conversation, and it make Cleo feel comfortable with Raditya. So this tell us about that Cleo uh, has falling in love with Radit. Cleo asked to Radit, is Raditya has a girlfriend or a partner? Is did had a partner or a girlfriend? So this moment or this question in this moment um, made Cleo what disappointed. She is disappointing to Raditya that he has girlfriend or partner. When they arrive in Yogyakarta, Radit is firstly get out from the bus. So this moment give us information that they will make farewell. So Radit gets out, and Cleo continue his trip to Terminal Giwangan. So when they in Yogyakarta themselves, Cleo go to some place or Kosakora. They take or they play with Kosakora. So after she take a Kosakora, and she playing in Kosakora, like this. So after she get down from Kosakora, she is cake or up hack. She is up hacking, and nobody people or no one help Cleo. So in the third cake, Raditya is coming and helping Cleo, and they get her anymore in Yogyakarta. This is the end of this story. Thank you.
Okay, that's all from us. Thanks for your nice attention. And the last we say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.